Hello, ladies and gents, and as always, welcome. We're going to do something. As always, I'm always up for trying different things. So I've got, in light of speeding up the videos, because I'm trying to cut down on making 30-minute videos, because I know those take a long time to watch, and especially when you kind of just want to get a quick glance of it. I've got all the decks unpacked already, which is the Tezzeret and Ajani Planeswalker decks from Aether Revolt. And as you can see, I've got the two namesake Planeswalkers laid out. And just going to go over a quick thing. The interesting thing that happened this time was with the Ajani. The Ajani that was released in the core set is the same casting cost as this Ajani, which was first time we've seen that, which, given this was the second set of the Planeswalker decks, so we really don't know exactly what to expect. The Tezzeret, interestingly enough, is probably better than the 4 cost in that it can actually kill your opponent. It has one of the abilities. Its negative actually drains your opponent based on the number of artifacts, which is, considering the 4-drop in the set actually doesn't have any way of directly attacking players other than its emblem, which isn't the fastest thing in the world. But it does have the benefit of having removal built in. But as you can see, you can get a good look at these guys. Probably the more interesting thing, these are the cards that, if anything from these sets is ever considered extremely valuable, it's going to be the Planeswalker aid cards, I guess you would call them. Or they're creatures that have effects based on controlling a Tezzeret or a Ajani Planeswalker. The Tezzeret Simulacrum was an expensive card. A lot of people thought before the Pro Tour of Aether Revolt that the ability to lightning bolt, well, actually, I wouldn't necessarily call it, I'd say it's a lava spike, an opponent just by tapping no mana, is extremely powerful, as we've seen in decks like Dynamo Tower, which is currently what I'm playing on Magic Online. Absolutely favorite deck since Kaladesh Red. I've been absolutely having a blast with it, but that's not the point of the video. So, having Tezzerator in Modern as possibly a tier 2 deck, I mean, it needs just a little bit to actually push it out, but from a Modern perspective, Tezzeret Simulacrum is extremely powerful, with Tezzeret's ability, Agent of Bolas, of course, being able to drain the turn after he comes out. With something like Tezzeret Simulacrum, you can kill him in a hurry, which is obviously the most necessary thing in Modern. Ajani's Comrade, this one would be absolutely amazing if we had a 3 or 4 cost Ajani. With the ability, putting the 1/1 counter on it, going from a 3/3 trample, 4/4 trample, and so on and so forth. If we had the 3 cost Ajani, this would be an amazing staple in Standard. Will it see play anywhere else? With the way, obviously, I'm Modern pretty much all the way. Have been dabbling in Standard recently, especially with the going back on Magic Online. But if we do see something in Standard like a really good 3 or 4 cost, it'd have to be a really good 4 cost or a decent 3-drop. This would be just absolutely thrown in there. In the long run, I don't see the 3 cost Ajani showing up a lot in Modern as of late. If we have more stuff that absolutely love 1/1 counters, you may see a deck like this. Green-white has always been a color combination, and I mean, it's just an absolute staple in any and every format that as long as it has a green-white duel, which I don't think we'll ever see any of those going away. But in heart of keeping this video short, I'm back out. I've got just some of the other uncommons, the rares. Each one comes with 4 rares, 2 of which are duplicates, which on Tezzeret's side, you have the Betrayal card, which the Betrayal card that searches up the Planeswalker is far better, and I mean significantly better than the one that comes in the Ajani deck. Being able to destroy a creature, even at 5 cost. 5 cost is extremely high, but you're also getting a Planeswalker out of it. Your Quicksmith Spy, which is just your card draw, and your card filter in the Merchant. You also technically get 2 more rares, in the fact that those are from the 2 packs I opened. Thankfully, both could be used. The Glint Sleeve Siphoner, definitely the better of the 2. For whatever reason, they love the Peace Walker Colossus, because I also opened that in the Ajani packs, which the Ajani I actually got really lucky. Not an expensive card by any means, but the Lifecrafter's Bestiary, obviously good in a creature deck for that extra card draw. But you have basically a little bit of removal. The nothing too out of the ordinary. The one card I really was hoping to see a lot more of, even though it's more costly than Ensoul Artifact. You have the pseudo Ensoul Artifact. It adds a color, which is really bad. You have to have something a lot more powerful when you do that. You're not only increasing the mana cost, but the color restrictions to get the same effect. The only difference is this returns to your hand when the artifact's killed. The other ones, I'm liking the Ajani deck a little bit more, just because 1/1 counters are freaking hilarious and fun. It just exponentially grows your board, especially with this guy. This guy I have seen on Magic Online in some standard decks. Nothing tier 1. It's just, unfortunately, a little bit too fast right now. Which I say that, which is it's either too fast or there's way too much removal for something like that for you to actually get a lot of counters out there, especially when he's the same cost as Virtuous Gear Hulk, if I'm pronouncing that right. Onto the Ajani's Aid. This is to me, absolutely horrible. I am not excited about this card at all. Hopefully that's focusing in. But basically, it's a weak fog for 4. I don't know what they were thinking, but it gets Ajani. That's all we care about. And the Solemn Recruit, the double striking guy with Revolt. There's only a handful of commons and whatnot to really trigger Revolt in these decks, but especially with him being such a Revolt-based deck, I was expecting a few more things in there to actually trigger it, other than the artifact that comes into play tap for 1 mana that sacks for a basic land. The commons, I have to say, are better in the Tezzeret deck. Now, I'm not going to go through and show you everything in there. You can pull up the deck list if you want. I just wanted to give you a basic overview. What you want, what you're looking for, what you're opening these for are these 4 cards right here. You do get 3 of each of the Tezzeret Simulacrum and Ajani's Comrade. Which, the Tezzeret Simulacrum, if you're going to pick up any of these, it's going to be this Tezzeret deck. Just because those things, like, I believe they hit $4 or $5 at one point. Unfortunately, not a lot of people, which, fortunately and unfortunately, not a lot of these decks are getting opened. I don't know if they're not printing them enough, or if people just aren't picking it up like they used to do the old intro decks. Because these things are not expensive. These are not expensive decks. And especially for something that comes with a Planeswalker, even if it is a lower power than what you would normally see, it is a baseline for a very, very decent deck. Especially if you're throwing in something from F&M, like I said, starting out, or if you're trying to specifically collect the cards that this is the only way you can get these. I always reiterate that. This is the only way right now you can get these 4 cards, is to get these 2 decks. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm glad I'm getting it done a lot faster, trying to give you shotgun out a bunch of information. Let me know what you really want to know about the decks. That's kind of in the direction I'm going. That's why I'm always doing the videos differently each and every time. I want a little bit of feedback, seeing what type of information people want, people like. They want the history of the cards, lore. Do they just want to know what decks they can go in, what they can throw together by buying these? Just give me some feedback. And as always, thank you for joining, and hope to see you next time.